Hello everyone.
Sorry.
I'm so happy. No problem. So I'm so happy to be here, and it's pleasure to have you all here in our discussion or maybe our workshop. So I'm Katrina Daidon. I am the community engagement specialist of politics for her. So now I will start by presenting the agenda. So, as you see, we will start by a kind and quick discussion in order to discuss how we are feeling today, etc. And it will be just like icebreaker. Then we will move to an overview in order to understand the core of our workshop today. Then self-care, the meaning, etc. And moreover, we will discuss the collective care. Then we will move to Ariel principles, basic principles of activism. First of all, respect diversity, ethics, find your people, and prioritize your well-being. So now we will move to a kind and quick discussion. Thank you. So now just let us know about how are you feeling today and what do you need to feel better. So feel free and feel comfortable to discuss with us how are you feeling today. Maybe by opening the mic or writing in the chat room. Just feel free to talk. So I will start by me. I'm feeling excited and happy because I'm speaking now. So I'm okay. I'm good and very very excited. And I think the only thing that I'm needing today to feel better is a cup of orange juice because it's hot here, so it will enhance my situation. Thank you.
Hi, can I be next?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm feeling a little bit nervous because it's the first workshop I'm being a speaker, but I think that the audience of Politics for Her is amazing. So I'm super thrilled also. And to feel better, I think I'm gonna need a little bit of food later because I'm a Taurus girl. So maybe sushi will be a great idea for today.
So I see many of you writing in the chat room. Okay. Anyone else wants to speak?
For me, I feel excellent. I just got out of the dentist, so I'm feeling a bit tired, but it's okay.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. So I think this workshop is for you because it's mainly about self-care, etc. So sending to you beautiful energy and love. Thank you.
So we have a lot of people feeling tired.
Yes.
Some overwhelmed, some stressed, anxious. Guys, you really need this workshop.
Yeah.
Everyone's really anxious and tired, so I think this is going to be a productive discussion with all of you. And hopefully when this discussion is over, you'll be a little bit more reflexive on how you can treat yourself better.
No?
And Catherine, I give the floor to you.
Yeah, okay. I think it let's move to the next slide. So this is an overview. So, due to the long history of discrimination, care is not priority for marginalized communities, as we know. So, and as it is known in feminist activism, we often do not access workplace policy. Likewise, the lack of human resources in feminism, no paid sick days, and no paid time off. Also, young feminist activists are not comprehended enough to afford the necessary resources to care for themselves and their community, because we see that, care is just a luxury and we don't have the time. We have very busy lives, etc. So I would love to tell you that even small acts of self-care can have a big impact on our health, happiness, and life. For example, just reading a book or maybe taking a walk can change your situation, can develop your mindset. So let's move to the next one, please. Okay, so now we will discuss self-care. So it is about taking care of yourself without feeling guilty for taking breaks and time away. In other words, putting yourself first is not a selfish act, because for sure you cannot pour from an empty cup. So it's the same with our feminist activism. We cannot truly take care of our community and advocate for it if we are not generous with ourselves and our bodies. So mainly taking care of yourself is not a reward, but rather a necessity. So this is very important, and for me it makes sense, because we cannot advocate for our community, we cannot help our community, and we cannot be strong if we are not taking care of ourselves. We cannot represent our community if we are not in a well-being good. So for me this makes sense, and this is about self-care, because self-care is a part of our health. So it's very necessary for us, so we cannot move to collective care without self-care. So feel free to ask questions anytime. Next, please. So first of all, collective care is an approach to caregiving that emphasizes the importance of communities and social support systems in providing care. It involves individuals coming together in supports each other and share resources such as time, skills, and money. So this approach recognizes that caregiving is not just it's not just the responsibility of an individual, but of society as a whole. So the collective care stands against the normalization and admiration of sacrificing yourself at the altar of resistance. And this sheds light on reimagining resistance as a collective care, because you cannot be resistance without others, because a voice is not just like our voice. If we all as a team, it's not like an individual. So for changing the world, we need to be together. We need to be collective. So again, collective care is about taking care. So collective care is about taking care of ourselves first in order to take care of our community too. Moreover, develop non-paternalistic models of caregiving. So thank you so much. And please, if you have any question about what I said before, you can ask. Thank you.
Okay, so Ayman is asking how she can get away from procrastination. Well, this is a tough question because I think that we all tend to procrastinate today. Like, our routines are so crazy sometimes that sometimes we procrastinate because we are tired, or maybe because you're not feeling that satisfaction with the activities you are up into in that moment. And this is fine. I think that the problem of procrastination is that it can be like a habit, you know? Sometimes we have to put some activities we like in between the activities we have to do. That's what I do, at least. Sometimes I have to, I don't know, write something that it's really boring or it's gonna exhaust me. So I try to do it in parts. I try to listen to some music before doing it. I try to release anxiousness before doing it. Meditate, doing exercises, it's very good. But procrastination, I think that there is many strategies, you can approach it. I think that maybe you should analyze what is happening in your life right now, so you can have a wider view of what is making you procrastinate. Procrastination often comes with anxiety, sorry. So if I'm anxious, I tend to procrastinate. So I try to release anxiousness from my life. Maybe this can help you. Amen. I don't know, but that's what I do. So the basic principles of activism. You can go to the next one, please. Yeah, respect diversity. So these are very, very basic principles of how can we deal with activism without taking it to the procrastination and anxious part of our lives. So respect diversity, as Catherine already said, is also a part of respecting yourself. So there is a lot of forms that someone can be an activist. You can, I don't know, be someone that prefers to work from home, to work with your art, with your music, with your body, or writing articles. There is lots of forms of activism. Sometimes I think that people misinterpret activism with that image we have of the people going to physical fights against the police, against the government, against, I don't know, any authorities. And not always is like that, there is a lot of forms that you can express your activism, help a cause that it's not necessarily physical. Like, I can give you an example from my community. I live in Rio. So Rio is a very, very violent city. So here, people tend to ask for peace as a form of confronting oppression. Like we have the governments that doesn't really care for poor people. Poor people are mainly Black people because of our esclavist slavery past. So we have a lot of people in poverty because of slavery, and they are mainly Black people. So governments of Rio doesn't really care for those people. So that's when the criminal factions take place. They fight for dominance of territory, of services. So what these women from the favelas or from Rio ask for authorities, ask for NGOs throughout the world, they ask for peace, because we already live in a very violent landscape. We already have a lots of young people dying in the streets, directly and indirectly victims of this violence, and this lack of concern with poor people in general. So there are a lot of strategies. Here in Rio, for example, our strategy is to ask for education, real good education, like with quality. We tend to ask for childcare support from the government. We tend to ask for more safety, you know. We tend to ask for less guns in the streets, so which is illegal, but we have a lot, unfortunately. So it's different. And sometimes in some other territory, in some other country, people tend to ask for more confrontation. And that's perfectly fine, you know, because we have to perceive, we have to be aware of the power dynamics in our surroundings, you know. The power dynamics that occur here in Rio is not the same that occurs in Morocco, where Catherine Nada is based. It's not the same in Europe. It's the power dynamics. It's very, very different in every place. So that's why we have to see images clearly by understanding the whole context of everyone, because sometimes your activism is something more confrontational. You like to go to the streets, or I don't know, you like to stay at home, and you don't fully understand the forms of activism of other people. But it's always, I think it's actually crucial for us to think of the context of everyone. Like, we have the example of the hijab. I'm not going to extend myself in this topic because I'm not a Muslim woman, but just an example. In some places, wearing a hijab is a form of activism, is a form of fighting oppression. So in some others, taking off your hijab is a form of activism and confrontation. So the context always have influence in what strategies and practice every people is adopting. So inclusivity, yeah. Inclusivity is also a difficult topic, because when we think about inclusivity, we think about being okay with other religions, with other sexual orientations, but we never really think of, like, what can I do to be more inclusive with disabled people? You know, sometimes those people are cast out of discussions because they cannot simply go to some physical places. And activism also has this other angle that we have to look at. So inclusivity is non-negotiable. You know, we have a lot of examples of people that, oh, but you know, this religion is not really feminist. But yeah, you have to respect the cultural differences, because contexts are different. And we have also a lot of demands that really need our attention, like being fully inclusive with disabled people in all forms, you know, autistic people, physical disabled people. So we have to have these dimensions so we can be really inclusive, you know, in activism. You're welcome, Vani. Yes. Yes, Arish. In some contexts, not wearing a hijab is activism too. And this is really important to say, because sometimes we can forget that there are lots of realities that are not like ours, you know. They are different. They are really, really different from our reality, what we are used to see, to live, and that's fine. We just have to respect and try to understand. And topic 2, ethics. Ethics has a lot to do with some things we can perceive when we are doing activism in the daily life. You know, align your practice with your values. Sometimes we see some people, or sometimes we ourselves, we are saying something, but we are doing something really different from what we are speaking people to do. So that's a real challenge. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is a perfect model of activists. Nobody will be, because we are humans. But we have to align our practice with our values. Otherwise, your activism will be empty. You know, we have to respect our own concepts, what we defend, what we are preaching for others. That seems pretty basic and like non-important, but it is. You're gonna perceive a lot of people that don't really follow their values, or don't really follow what they speak for other people to do. You know, sometimes it's intentional, unfortunately, but sometimes people are just tired. Everybody's tired. You are tired, we are tired, like everyone is tired. But we can always fight for a better reality, and we can also be kind. And of course, this starts with us. So if I'm aligned with my practices, if I'm aligned my practices with my values, I can tell others what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and they will believe me. You know, this is, I think this is more impactful than any lectures or anything in the daily lives of people. There is room for everybody. You know, activism is not just like a spotlight where someone is shining and you have to be that person. No, there is room for everybody. Sometimes you are the person that wants to talk with other people, you want to give speeches, lectures, you want to talk about feminism on the internet or offline, it's fine. But sometimes you don't want to. And sometimes it's fine. You know, you don't have to pick up the logic of capitalism, of job market, to the activism. It's not a competition. There is room for everybody. So if someone is in the spotlight and you wish to be in the spotlight too, there is room for you too. You don't have to be there alone. You don't have to compete with this person. Activism is much more of what you believe, what changes you want to see in the world, than a checklist of what you are more evolved, you are more, I don't know, cool. Sometimes people, oh no, I have to care for the planet, I have to care for women, I have to care for minorities, LGBT people. And it's not just it. There is room for everybody, because you can have, sorry, something just ringed here. I don't know what is it, but I'll keep going. There is no competition, so everybody can stand for feminism, and you can do it in a lot of ways. As I said, there is a lot of strategies, there is a lot of practices. We can also divide them So I always try to say to young people that is joining activism that don't try to overlap the job market logics with activism, because they are totally different things. You know, in activism, you won't have like profit. Sometimes you won't have the recognition you want to, but it's fine, because our main challenge is to go further with the discussion, is to give us examples, is to give people a better understanding of the world, and try to make them join us in a certain way, even if those people don't want to, I don't know, go to protests and give speeches as you, but it's fine. Yes, Sheme, exactly. It's not a competition, it's not a job market, it's something bigger than ourselves. It's always nice to have to keep that in mind, you know. Join organizations that share the same values you do. I think I can speak for myself. This is a bit more intimate, I guess, this topic, because I'm in politics for her. So I really do believe in intersectional feminism. I really want to include everyone. I really like to be in an environment that people encourage me to pursue more, to be more, you know, to know more. Not because of my ego or because I have to be the best, but because we are sharing those experiences and we want understanding from others. We want to look at our sides and say, okay, I'm not alone, you know. I can speak by me because it's really nice to be in an environment that sometimes we are in a meeting and there is Catherine Neda from Morocco, and there is Nada from Tunisia, and they are like thousands of miles away from me, but we are sharing those experiences together. We live the same things, we go through the same challenges, and it's very crazy and it's amazing to see how this can be, like, that we are much more alike than we think we are. You know, there are a lot more alike than differences. So yeah, join organizations that share the same values as you do, because it will help you grow in your activism without letting your ego take control. It's really nice to have people supporting you as well. The next one, please. Guys, let me just drink some water. My throat was dry, sorry. This topic is very nice because I was thinking of what would be the title of the topic. And those days I have seen a speech from Michelle Yeoh. She's the star from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't know if everybody is familiar with the movie, but it's pretty famous. And she was giving a speech for Harvard graduates in law. And she said this exact phrase: find your people. Like, those are the people that it's gonna strengthen you for the fight. Those are the people that is going to offer you opportunities, not just opportunities like with money or something like that, but they're gonna offer you an environment for you to grow. You know, surround yourself with people who share your beliefs and respect you. That's so crucial, because we know that being a feminist sometimes can raise a lot of confrontation within our families, on households. So sometimes your parents don't understand you. They think you are rebellious. They think you are trying to defy them, but it's not like that. You just, I guess that everybody is like that. Like, I'm just trying to say that I'm a human being, as just like a man is. So sometimes this can be misunderstood, misinterpreted, and sometimes people just don't want to listen to you. And it's fine. You know, sometimes people are gonna be very, very rude to you because they think you are trying to disrespect them, being a feminist or being some activist. You are trying to defy the world. It's just a phase. And surrounding yourself with friends and colleagues in activism that share your beliefs will give you the strength to deal with those situations, you know, because it's much more common than we think it is. Lots of girls have problems with parents. They think that their children are gonna, I don't know, they think they're gonna turn into some monster that likes to eat children. And it's not really like that. And they don't want to listen to us. They think that that's it. We are bad. We eat children. I don't know, we beat old people. So finding your crew will give you this safety sensation, you know, the safety feeling, which is very, very crucial for you to take care of yourself. Support the work and content of people that encourages you. Your own work and activism. So this is, I think nowadays, this is a really complicated topic because I don't know your experiences, but when I was beginning in the activist life, I used to engage in any discussions about it with people that don't even want to try to listen to me. They don't care. They are just trolls, you know, especially on internet. So sometimes people would like make fun of my face because I was trying to I was coming with data, I was coming with articles, with science to tell them that no, we deserve this or that, like gender-based violence is a real thing, and they didn't care. So if you're able to follow people that supports your causes, that are aligned with your causes, this will give you this whole sense of community, of having people that are going through the same things as you are. And, you know, safety is everything. It's gonna save you from a lot of useless discussions. Helping others is also networking. Yeah, that's it. So again, within politics for her, we always help each other. Like, oh, there is this job opportunity, there is this speech opportunity, there is this congress. Who wanna come? Who is willing to go? Who is willing to do that? So this is really, really interesting because maybe you think that someone don't have anything to offer you, and that's not it. You know, sometimes people, they evolve in different paces. Everyone evolves in different paces on activism. So sometimes someone that is starting right now that don't have any idea of what feminism is can, whoa, okay, something happened. that have no idea what feminism is can help you someday with some opportunity in feminism, activism, and it can surprise you, you know, helping others, as Catherine Nada brilliant said, is also helping yourself. Next one, please. Prioritize your well-being. Yeah, this has a lot to do with the previous topic. So don't engage in useless discussions on internet, on social media. There are a lot of trolls. They just want to piss you off. They just want to let you down. Try to engage in something that it's going to bring you more knowledge or more inspiration or more energy to achieve your goals or to be a better activist, you know. I don't know if this is a common experience, but in Brazil, a few years ago, we had this discussion of activists, internet activists, and real activists, as if there is this such a I don't know how to say it, as if there is such a separation, like you are activists for real if you are doing confrontations or going to the streets, and it's not like that. So I remember I was super pissed off because I was considered an internet activist. So I was less than people that were in parties, political parties or organizations, and that's not true. Okay, so don't engage in useless discussions. Don't try to convince people that don't even want to listen to you. You know, I took to myself this logic of, if someone is not considering me a human being, he won't listen to me. This person won't listen to me. This person won't take in consideration anything I bring about the topic. And it doesn't really matter if I'm talking with data, with articles, with anything. These people won't listen to me because they don't even consider me like equal to them. So there is no point in engaging in a discussion with someone that doesn't consider you an equal. And that's a must, because I know it's very easy to engage in some discussions on Twitter or Facebook, but save yourself from this. You don't have to put yourself in physically or mentally dangerous situations to be an activist. This is very important because sometimes you are already in a dangerous situation just by being a woman, you know. Societies are very violent with women. In Brazil, for example, we have high rates of feminicides that are violence, gender-based violence. So I'm in danger just to be a woman, you know. You don't need to put yourself in the streets or speak up in any environment that is not safe. You don't need to do that in order to be an activist. You know, don't put yourself in danger, or don't go through discussions, or even at home, don't put yourself in situations that you're mentally violated because you have to be an activist 24/7. It's not like that. Reality is more complex than being or being not at all times, you know. Sometimes we have to just be quiet, calm down, in order to continue our work as activists without suffering because of it. And it's fine to take a break from activism from time to time. That's, I think that's the main challenge for all activists, because, you know, I don't think I can take apart myself that, like, I'm a woman, so I'm always fighting for women's rights. But it's not like you have to be always confronting people or discussing with people and consuming feminist content. It's fine if you want sometimes to take a break and watch silly movies from Hollywood, which is not Barbie. Barbie is great. Or silly movies about a romance. And you know, there are some problems in that guy that is pictured like he was great, but there is a lot of problematics when you see some movies. I used to feel very like I don't know, strange at times when I used to see old movies that I used to like, and then there are these tons and tons of sexist jokes and sexist logics, and I was, oh my god, I'm being a terrible activist just by liking those movies or those songs or anything. And it's not. We are in this culture. We were raised in this culture. What we have to do is to fight over and over to things like that don't be normalized anymore, you know? And it's fine to take a break. It's fine to not to read some article on feminism. It's fine if you want to take a break from speaking about feminism or thinking about feminism. You have to prioritize your well-being. Otherwise, you'll be burned out under 30. So I think that's it. I thank you all for being here, for listening to us. This was more like a conversation. I'm seeing that you're very talkative in the chat, and this is amazing. You're talking about movies. Bollywood movies are the best. You know, I have seen in Brazil, particularly, a lot of like these cuts of scenes of Bollywood movies where buses are flying, people are flying, and women are, I don't know, somehow falling from a skyscraper and being alive. And I think it's so funny, but I didn't know it was like sexist. Yes, amen. Yes, that's great. That's great. That's what we wanted to do with you, like being part of a conversation where everybody is participating and talking and sharing your lives, your opinions and everything. So Catherine, do you want to add anything?
Oh my God. So thank you so much for your ideas, etc. I'm just asking the others if they have any question regarding your ideas or my ideas.
Yes, people, you are free to ask anything you want. Or
Yeah.
just to share, just to talk. I'm saying that you're very talkative and you're enjoying this experience with sharing with people. And again, Roxanne, you wrote about feminism. Factivism. Okay, Yasmina, that's a really, really interesting point. What would be factivism? Like, we can still listen to rap and hip hop. Yeah.
Can you? Hi. Hi. Thank you so much for it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing your personal stories and your insights. And I was having fun in the chat with everyone else. And I hope that you also enjoyed the conversation. I call it fictivism, but it's basically like performative activism. It's when people are just going to surf on the wave because it's something trendy, but do not necessarily care deeply about the issue. We've seen it a lot, for example, in the US during the Black Lives Matters movement. And, you know, when everybody was posting a black square on Instagram, and that's it. That's all people were doing. And the couple of days later, they did not care about it. So that's what I say, like fictivism. Or again, someone mentioned that a lot of people get into the nonprofit world or, you know, international development field because for personal interests reason. So it became a way to make money. It became a way to gain recognition. It became a way to get the spotlight. So that's also something that does not necessarily match with the values. And having worked in the humanitarian field as well, I was very disappointed after many years in that field. I came with this idea that everyone working in the humanitarian field or even in feminism, right? So in the feminist movement, that everybody would be genuine and kind and compassionate like we are, but I was wrong. So, you know, like kind of my dreams were shattered by getting into this space because a lot of people do not do it because they care or be from a place of passion or from a motivation to make the world a better place, but again, from a place of personal interests. So that's also something that is important to differentiate whenever we undertake our fights and make sure that, yes, someone said people took selfies in front of the blasted port, things like that, or people that go to Africa and take pictures where kids or any global majority country, they're like, oh, I'm a humanitarian. And I actually like did a course on with the Oxford University 2 weeks ago about the concept of humanitarianism. And I told them I'm not a humanitarian because according to the very like academic definition, when you're a humanitarian, you're neutral. And I was like, if you're neutral, then you're siding with the oppressors. So I'm not a humanitarian for that very same reason. There's no way to be neutral in whatever conflict it is. And even, you know, like terminologies and the way that, particularly in the Middle East, people have been dehumanized because of the way that we speak about them, like Palestine, for example, and how we call that a conflict, but it's not a conflict, it's apartheid. And all of those, this agenda, it serves also an elite and people that are doing work within the region or that are reporting on the region. They're doing it just for fictivism, to be able to benefit from the hype. And yeah, that was like back to my point. Anyway, I diverse.
No, it was great. Thank you, Yasmina. You always come with a lot of great insights for the discussion. Like, yeah, we have this problem of people faking caring about some issues they don't really do care about. And I think that some companies, like they try to give those hints for people that are trying to get in their companies, like attach yourself to a movement because it's trendy now, so enter a movement. Just don't. If you don't like what you're doing in any movement, if you don't agree with it, just don't. Save yourself time, buy yourself I don't know, your attention or other people's times, because you know there is a lot of discussions that we have to to carry on. We have to put in the table, and fake people they just jeopardize all the movements. That's a problem, but I think that the bright side is a lot better, you know, because I think that there is more people that are willing to build a better world than people in this field. Okay, not in the globe. In this field particularly, I think that there is more people interested in building a better world than people that are trying to gain attention, and they don't last long in this field, you know. They can have some attention, but they won't last long because fakeness appears, guys. We can see it. So we are almost finishing. Anyone wants to add something? Anyone wants to ask anything? Oh, Ayman, thank you for being here and for listening to us. Yes, Ciara, but I think that the good people will win. If we don't believe in that, I don't see the point of activism. Let's be positive. Sarish,
And I just want to add that the good people are you, the young people, and particularly like young women, and even more young women from the global majority, so from the global south, because they understand the different intersections, the different challenges that we need to overcome to have a more peaceful, equitable, sustainable world. So again, you are what makes this world better. And I'm really grateful to see team members running workshops and other young women and young people, gender diverse people attending and participating. And it just means a lot. So thank you for making this world better.
yes. I make your words mine. Yes, Mina. That's it, people. Does anyone else wants to add anything?
Just a quick one for Yasmina. I love the fact that you use the term global majority. I've copy pasted that. That's going in my definition book. I absolutely love that term. I hate hearing global south, hate hearing third world countries. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's definitely a term that's we've been using more and more within our work, within the feminist space, just as much as terms like, you know, we don't use MENA, we don't use Middle East and North Africa, we use SWANA, Southwest Asia and North Africa, because the Middle East is very Western centric and European invention, according to which the Middle East is in the middle of nowhere, like middle of the east of Europe. So we decolonize ourselves from also language. Same thing for sub-Saharan Africa. It's a colonial term because it divides white Africa, Northern Africa with the rest of Africa, if that makes sense. So that's also something I despise using, sub-Saharan, global south, global north. And, you know, like also when I did this summer course with the Oxford University, we did a class on colonial past. And it's insane how, you know, the global south, global north, global south, it doesn't even make any sense geographically or even historically or in any way. And also how a lot, for example, the US, a big part of the US was actually part of Mexico. It was not the US. It became the US because of colonization. So there's a lot that we have to unlearn, even language-wise and within our history.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Yasmina always rocks. Sarish, I think it's Sarish. I saw that you raised your hand. Do you want to go?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you. It was a great workshop experience. So I just wanted to add in that in that safety part during activism is that as me belonging from and coming from a South Asian part of the world, like Pakistan, and as you discussed, Brazil,
And here women are so vulnerable towards violence and a lot of threat and damage to our bodies, to our mental health. I believe that we should always be concerned about it by keeping and bringing and creating safe spaces around ourselves, and ensuring that those spaces are safe enough to talk about what we want to talk about very openly with those people. And recently, I've also learned a rule of Chatham House rule to be built in your spaces in order to avoid a leak of information. Because currently, where I am, we have a lot of state-based violence and against women, and women are being suppressed because by the by the government, due to for their own rights, for their political rights, especially for their fundamental rights. So when such movement or such mobs are created, they are so much damaged and so much violated just because the information and the sources are so strong of the enemies that damages and build in such a violent space around us, and that um gives very little room for us to again gain that momentum and get that force and fight for against it. So I always tell people to concern their safety first and build in very safe spaces for themselves to talk, where when you get to know your like-minded people around, you need to build in confidence. So because there are a lot of people who have been through a lot of violence, that they cannot express so freely and in front of anything, especially when we talk about digital activism. They can't, because when we talk about digital activism, we have cyber issues coming in, cyber crimes, where it is so easy to be caught online that, okay, I'm discussing about some political party not doing well and I'll be caught easily. So always be cautious about it, because we women have a lot of barriers to cross in the end. And if we lose somewhere, we might be voices of millions out there. So we need to be concerned about that. This is what I just wanted to share. I hope it makes sense to you all. Thank you.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank you. It was a very insightful. It was a very insightful adding you did. Thank you, Sarish. Yeah, I think that safety is one of the main challenges for women worldwide, because especially what is the term that Yasmina just used?
Global majority.
Global majority, yes, especially in the global majority, because we are the first victims of all kinds of violence. As I was saying to you, we tend here in Rio, we tend to ask for peace, because in this war between factions, police, militias, women are the most harmed people. Women are raped as a war weapon. They weaponize our bodies. They weaponize our right to give birth. If you don't have to have children, if you don't want to have children, you are a bad woman. You're not a real woman. And if you have children, you have to face the fact that your children maybe can join factions, criminal factions someday, or they can join the police and they can be murdered in a confrontation between both of them. Or your children can be going to school and the police can kill him, because there is also the race thing. Police is very, very violent here. So they kill Black people like it was nothing, and nothing is done. So we suffer from violence from every directions possible. If it's not directly, we see our husbands or brothers, or I don't know, children being murdered by this confrontation and this violence. So yeah, I think I talked a lot. So people, I guess that was it. It was amazing to have you all here. Thank you for being to the end. Everyone is here until the end. So thanks a lot. And I'll send you the certificates for everybody that had their full name displayed. Okay. This will take 2 to 3 weeks or 4, because we have a lot on our plates right now, and we are volunteers. So it takes a little bit longer, but no worries, I'll send you. Okay. And if you don't receive your certificate within a month, you can always reach out to us in our email. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you all. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Hi, Sarah. Sarah is asking a question. Yes. Thank you, Yasmina. Thanks for answering. Catherine, you can say, you can go. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, people.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. See you next workshop.